This is the Build Zone podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to episode 146 of the Build Zone podcast. My name is Allison Jackson, joined by my co-host, Mike Maloney. Mike, we have some really great new partners, sponsors this month, starting last week. So tell us a little bit about our supporters of the month.
This week, our presenting sponsor is Interstate Electrical Services. And what we'd like to do for Interstate Electrical Services, go to their website, and it's iesc1.com. Clicked on the website, clicked on services that they provide. I clicked on thermal diagnostic imaging, and it says, get in touch with us today to discuss thermal diagnostic imaging as a part of a structured maintenance program. The electricians at Interstate and the licensed thermographers use thermal imaging on your electrical systems to check for loose connections or issues with breaker contacts that result in hotspots. These hotspots, if left untouched, can result in power loss or damage to the electrical panel. Once diagnosed, they fix the problem, then scan once again with thermal imaging to ensure that the issue is resolved. And because thermal imaging works in real time, the electricians can watch while equipment heats or cools, which can be useful in diagnosing problems. So thanks again to our friends over at Interstate Electrical Services. And this month, the lightning round is sponsored by our friends over at Resource Options. If you have not listened to the Chris Manley episode from a few episodes ago, it's a great listen. He was a fantastic guest. We appreciate him being a partner with us this month. But if, again, we go to resourceoptions.com, clicked on staff and services. They have construction staffing. And it says, if you're struggling to locate and vet skilled tradespeople for your projects, tight project deadline looming on the horizon, are you interested in minimizing the expansion of your full-time workforce and the accompanying costs? Resource Options offers a proactive hiring solution that alleviates the challenges tied to sourcing, vetting, and retaining skilled tradespeople. They provide tradespeople and construction professionals, carpenters, electricians, field engineers, HVAC and sheet metal, plumbers, project managers, skilled labor, superintendents, specialty trades. Reach out to our friends at resourceoptions.com, and you can reach them on Facebook, X, and on looks like LinkedIn. The phone number is 800-505-4ROI. All right, as usual, we'd like to talk about what's happening out in the news right now. Allison will talk about a conspiracy theory. What are your thoughts on some of the things that are being posted out there? That Hurricane Helene was the product of intentional weather modification. Conspiracy theory, do you believe in that? Do you believe there's some mad scientist out there controlling the weather?
Just one person out there just trying to wreak havoc.
It's like a Batman villain. Like a Batman villain. He's out there somewhere controlling. There were reports that Hurricane Helene followed the same pathway as a hurricane from the 40s, and a hurricane named King. It had from 1947. It followed the exact same path. Subject of experiment conducted by the U.S. Air Force and General Electric called Project Cirrus. People are, intentionally seeding clouds and putting iodide capsules in the clouds. What do you think? Is it true, fact? What are your thoughts?
I mean, speaking to like the weather going in the same path or whatever, I mean, their weather patterns aren't, I mean, I'm sure there are, pockets of pressure and stuff that like I don't know, I was never good at science, but I wouldn't take that as evidence of a mad scientist in an evil lair cave somewhere manipulating the weather. I mean, I guess stranger things have happened, but I don't know about that.
People think they're controlling the weather to clear land in Florida, clear land down south. You make the land have less worth, I guess, so that other companies or countries or whatever corporate entities can come in and buy up that land really cheap and build new houses. Or
a lot of the land is flooded.
Yeah.
Like not how.
And so many anti-government people and conspiracy theorists that believe that the government would actually honestly try to do something like this. But if you went to politifact.com, fact checks, lots of great information on there that the NOAA confirms that there are no weather modification activities that have resulted in Hurricane Helene. Formed on their own in the right conditions. That was the case with Helene. The people talked about this hurricane. There were seeding clouds with silver iodide that could lead to a decrease in hurricane strongest winds. They said they've done no weather modification. So If you're one of those people that believes in weather modification, let us know. Reach back out. So we'd love to hear your side of the story. What do we have for upcoming trainings?
We have a few more trainings to finish out the year. It's already mid-October, which is so crazy. There's 2.5 months left of 2024, which flew by. Um, but at the end of October, on October 24th, we have a refrigeration tech prep for exam class. It's going to be from 4 to 9 at the ABC GCI Woburn office. Then December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we have an OSHA 30 hour for construction, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. We have a pipe fitter prep for exam on December 7th and 14th, and we have a sheet metal prep for exam on December 7th. All of these trainings and the rest of the trainings we have through 2024 are at our ABC GCI Woburn office. You can register for them at gwgci.org/events. And also keep an eye out because we're going to be releasing the 2025 training calendar, hopefully in the next few months. And then we're also going to be opening up some trainings at our Billerica facility in 2025. Lots of new, fun, really good stuff coming down the pipeline. We're super excited to have you with us.
Excellent. And the GCI team is working very hard to get those trainings up and be able to support the members and non-members with some very effective training. And then that comes my second favorite part of the podcast. It is time for the
What's
news.
your first favorite part?
The lightning round.
Mm.
This week's weekly update is brought to you by Energy Electrical Contractors, Patriot Benefit Services, Metro Walls, and the Veterans Development Corporation. And it's a Careers in Construction Month focused on training and safety. This is a message from Joe Camillo, the chairman of the ABC board. He wants to let everybody know that October is Careers in Construction Month, and rarely has it been more consequential. According to our chapter's national parent organization, the construction industry needs to attract 500,000 new workers in the coming year to meet demand. Addressing that need is a huge job, but we at ABC Massachusetts are trying to do our part. You can read more about that in the ABC blog located in the newsletter that goes out. Let's see here. By the time this comes out, we'll enjoyed our Oktoberfest with the Kennys. ABC releases an AI construction technology report focused on the impacts of artificial intelligence in the construction industry. The report includes a case study and thought leadership from ABC's Tech Alliance to showcase how ABC is working to strengthen members' understanding of AI. Again, more information in the ABC blog in your newsletter. Boston Globe poll says, how do Gen Z residents in Massachusetts get their news and information about politics in the 2024 election? There's a survey you can take. We'd love to see people complete that survey. Once again, we're looking for veterans to participate in the Veterans Committee of the Veterans Group. We're looking for some donations to help with the November 8th yard cleanup up in Dunstable. If you need more information about the cleanup or the Vets Committee, you can reach out to me, Mike at gwgci.org, or Pete Eberhardt at masbuildingandbridge.com. Events update, we've got ICA Awards. Registration is now open. I know people are submitting their entries as we speak. We've got a legal roundtable taking place on Wednesday, October 23rd. We've got the Excellent Construction Awards taking place Thursday, November 7th from 6 to 9. You can reserve your spot today. We'd love to have all the members there at the event. It's a great time. Let's see here. We've got GCI opens a new facility. Again, we're every week looking for some help or some donations. If you would like to make a donation or a donation in kind, reach out to somebody on the GCI staff. We can help take care of that. We've got some member updates. Kaplan marks Leland community completion. So congratulations to Kaplan Construction for completing that project. Our friends over at Callahan break ground on the Leifert Terrace in Salem. So congratulations on that groundbreaking. And as always, if you want to be on the podcast, please reach out to me, Mike at gwgci.org. This week on the podcast, we have Chris Abel, who is the membership director for ABC Connecticut. It was a great conversation. We love talking to our neighbors and ABC chapters, around us here in Massachusetts. So we'll take it and send it over to Chris. Remember to like, tag, share, and follow. We'll see you next week. We are excited to have on the podcast with us this week Mr. Chris Abel from ABC Connecticut. He's the membership director down there. He is doing a fantastic job. We love talking to our neighbors to the south, the north, wherever. We love our relationship we have with the chapters around us. So, Chris, welcome to the podcast. For those that don't know who you are, go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to work for ABC Connecticut.
Excellent, Mike. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on the Build Zone. So yeah, I've been with ABC Connecticut. I'm the membership director here. I handle all things, membership based. Been here about 6.5 years. Um, Background actually in broadcasting. Used to work in radio for a while, and then I ended up falling into, believe it or not, post-secondary education. So was out there speaking to students at career fairs and speaking to students about life after high school, trades, scholarships, all sorts of different things for about 10 years. Ended up at an event, a CTABC event called Construction Career Day. I usually had a table at that event, a booth at that event every year. To me, I really didn't know what ABC was all about. I just knew that it was something on my calendar and there were going to be, hundreds, if not a couple thousand high school students there that I could talk to. And while I was there one year, just so happened the president at the time, Chris Frixell, came up. He said, let me ask you a question. Why do you come to this event? I gave him a little bit of he was new at the time, so he was curious as to why people would want to be at that event. I gave him kind of my spiel as to why I'm there. The second day event, he came back over to me. I gave him a quick story as to something that happened the day before that basically just clarified why I would be at that type of event. And turns out, bumped into the education director, Marciati from the Construction Education Center, the CTABC training arm, at a college fair the next week. She happened to be watching me kind of work, seeing how things went on, and said, ABC's looking for a membership director. I said, I have no idea what that means, but it sounds interesting. Send me the information. They sent me the information, came in for an interview. By my second interview, all I remember saying is, I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but it will work. And it's been great from then on. I love the job, love the chapter, love ABC, and love meeting people like yourself, Mike,
Yep.
And some of our counterparts in other chapters too.
And we briefly talked before I record, but for many of us in the ABC world, we all wear many hats, right? So I'm sure you're not just the membership director. I'm sure you're dabbling and you've got a bunch of hats you have to switch on, right? Like we talked about, this
Okay.
podcast, not my only thing. I apprenticeship and instructors. What are some of the challenges you face as a membership director, do you think?
You're correct. I remember my first time meeting our president on day one, and he said, just let's make it clear, there's no such thing here at the chapter as it is not my job. And I love that because we've all been in situations where that isn't always the case. So yeah, I handle a lot of things as far as events, dot connecting, networking, things like that. I would say the biggest challenge is just like most careers, there's not enough hours in the day. There's not enough hours in the day. It's pretty interesting, and I'm sure, I'm very close with the ABC Massachusetts membership director, Venus, where we've had conversations. I'll have a phone call 3 months before our golf outing of someone asking, frantic, that they have to change out because Susie can't golf. So it needs to be John. Chris, can you help me switch that name? Or, hey, can you switch my meal choice for this awards dinner that is a month and a half away?
Yep.
And then 10 minutes later, I'll get somebody calling me about something drastic that has to do with, the legislative side of things, or, things that could potentially shut their business down. And I'm like, I'll call you right back. And they're like, oh, no rush. And I'm like, wait a second. So it's kind of this balancing act of, what are you going to handle today? What's going to go on today? So I would say the biggest challenge is just, trying to find that time to do everything, and then understand that you can't do everything. It's impossible to do everything. So the best you can do is make sure that the stuff that you're doing is of quality. So the second challenge is really that follow-up, being able to follow up and make sure that if you say you're going to do something, that you actually do it.
And then, because the membership director position is tough because you've got to be a salesperson. You have to really sell the ABC. What are some things you tell potential prospects about becoming ABC member?
Sure. So you're right. You have to, your sales, your business development, your marketing, your branding, your everything all wrapped into one. So anyone who has joined CTABC and has sat down with me, or anyone who hasn't joined or maybe had interest, the first thing is that if I sell anything, I sell retention. I'm not looking to sell membership. When I say I'm looking for X amount of members by the end of the year, that means I'm not looking for X amount of memberships. I'm looking for X amount of members. I am looking to sell retention. That first check that someone writes when they join our chapter is important, but it is nowhere near as important as the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth year. So I tell these companies that I'm trying to make sure that the fit is there. If they don't feel like the fit is there, I tell them, I want you to tell me, because if I don't feel like the fit is there, I will tell you. This is about retention. This is about us being able to be in the same room from years to come, whether you join or not, because there's no reason to stay in gray areas. If someone wants to join, we want to be at a yes. If someone doesn't want to join or they're not a fit, we want to be at a no. And then we could kind of move on with our professional lives, because at the end of the day, we're all people trying to get a job done. My job is to grow, retain, and show value. And without retention in the middle, it's just not, it's
That
not worthwhile. You got to sell retention. That first check isn't as important as the ones that are coming. I want people to make ABC Connecticut or ABC Mass or ABC in general part of the fabric of their business.
that's an amazing way to put it. I never thought about selling retention. I've had people join that I've networked with, and then when it comes up time to renew, they're like, "Man, it's not for me. I didn't get anything out of it." And I usually ask them, "Well, did you come to an event?" They go, "No."
Yep.
Did you come to the awards night? No. Did you come to safety day? Did you go to meet the generals? I said, no.
Yeah.
And Venus, I said, I'm sure you agree. It's like a gym membership, right? If you never go to the gym
Yep.
and you're like, gee, I'm not losing any weight, but I pay $25 a month. Why not losing any weight? Well, you never go to the gym. You got to
Yeah.
come to the events, right? It's all
Yeah.
about the network, about the people. And that kind of leads me into, and congratulations on this one, top 10 chapter for membership growth and retention. Congratulations on that. That's
Thank you
fantastic.
very much.
What do you attribute that to? Why do you think you've hit those high numbers with the retention?
Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I mean, there's a few different things. I'll throw a nod again up to the Massachusetts chapter, the New Hampshire, Vermont chapter, some of the other chapters, New York, Western Washington, Atlanta. These are some of the chapters, Wisconsin. These are some of the chapters that I chat with quite a bit. We stay in contact with one another, the membership personnel. We talk with one another. We see what works and what doesn't work, but at a very real level, so we can get an idea of what's going on. My biggest thing is this. I hear a lot of people in our space, not just ABC, but chambers of commerce, associations in general, say, well, my goal is to hit this amount. My goal is to hit this number of retention. And my biggest thing is, how are you going to go about getting there? And then what happens is people will throw out a bunch of different ways they're going to get there. And usually those ways are basically equal out to us doing our job. Those are our job descriptions. Those are the things we should be doing. But what I would accredit it to is I am a firm believer that you need to know your retention before you start retaining. I should know what my number is going to be because I've analyzed my list of members. I know who is happy. I know who is making changes in personnel. I know who might have been a little bit cranky about maybe a legislative decision, or maybe even just a decision, something that went on at our chapter. Nobody's perfect. Maybe there's something that happened at one of our events that they weren't that happy with. Addressing the issues and figuring out where they are. Did their apprentices do well in our training, in our training arm? Are they struggling? Are they not using our training arm? Knowing all those types of things are going to give me a really strong idea as to whether they're renewing or not. And I have a whole system that goes along with it, but basically I can break it down, be super humble about it, be very honest and conservative to myself, and get to a number that I feel really strongly about. And I've been pretty accurate on that number. And it's set up where it takes into consideration surprises. A lot of these companies are getting bought by other companies.
Yep. Yep.
Anything can happen. So I get down to that number, but knowing your retention before you start retaining is key. And the other part is starting it early. which was for me was early in the summer. I want to start June or July, do my assessment, figure out where I am, and then I can make adjustments and make adjustments. So I know you're up in Mass. Everyone used to hear about during those years of the New England Patriots, the Patriot Way
Yep.
of kind of setting a plan and sticking with it and making small adjustments. I've basically taken that into retention of making small adjustments as we go to make sure that retention is where it needs to be. And I
Have you
love the
ever
job.
had a member that you didn't think it was going to renew, and because for whatever reason you weren't sure of, and then they ended up renewing, and maybe they're like a star member? Do you have any stories like that?
Yeah, so I have a really, really good one actually. Two really good ones. The first one is simply when I first came in, um, just the position was open for a little while, and there was members that had joined that really weren't getting much of an intro or an onboarding. At the time, we were moving locations. We had a new president, new education director, and we're in flux as far as a membership director goes. So they really weren't getting an onboarding properly. And I called one of the members during renewal season, and they said, "Well, we didn't get anything." When I said, "You know what? I'm the new guy. You're a new member. We're both new. Let's just sit down and let's talk about it because we're learning as we go." And it turns out they stayed on board. They started getting some value right away. I started plugging them in, and now we are, I'm 6.5 years in, so they'll be a 7-year member this year.
Wow.
So that was a good one. Then the other one was I got a call from a broker who was looking for a contractor. Let me back this up. The member I'm about to talk about was a very late renewal the year before. And I had them on my risk list, and I'm like, I don't know if they're going to stick around. So I got a call from a real estate broker. He said, "Hey, listen, I have a build out. I'm looking for a GC. And, ABC is all about free enterprises. So I could help you out. Give me some ideas of what you're into so I don't send you a bridge builder if this isn't for a bridge builder," or, you get the idea.
Yep.
He explained what it was. It was a little build out. I looked in our directory. I sent everyone that would be a possible fit. I said, "Here's everyone. You should be able to call any of them. Feel free to mention ABC, but here's a good list of them." So long story short, an ABC member got the job. Turns out that the job ended up growing and they were doing a great job. So what contractor doesn't like a job that's going well that just gets larger, especially if they're not a huge contractor?
Right.
So long story short, I called the broker. He said, "They're doing a great job. It's getting bigger. It's really good. I'll definitely be using them in the future." And then sure enough, renewals went out, and they were one of the first 6 or 7 renewals that year. So every year now they renew 3 months earlier than they used to. So that was awesome because it's like, wow, like those two in particular, they should have been, for all intensive purposes, they should have, could have, or would have been dropped 4 or 5 years
Right.
ago. And now they are, when I do that evaluation, they are, hey, I'm not worried about them. I know what they like.
Right.
So it's pretty cool stuff.
I like, I'm on a membership committee up here in ABC Mass, and I love when we go out and meet a new member, and then you see them at other events, and then first thing I say is, "How's it going? Are you seeing a return?" And they go, "Oh yeah, we love this. This is great." And I'm like, "Oh, that makes me feel good because,
Yeah.
same thing, right? You get behind the ABC, and all of a sudden, the last thing I want is someone to go, "This stinks. I'm not getting any money out of this. I'm not getting any return. No one's answering my phone calls."
Yep.
But for the most part, I love when members hit it off with other members, and then you start seeing other events. They start emailing you, "Hey, you going to this event next week?" It's back and forth. "Hey, do you know anybody
Yep.
that does this?" I think that's probably the greatest part.
Yeah.
Another accolade that I want to congratulate you on is being a new member of the ABC National Membership Director Council.
Thank
Tell
you.
me what that's like.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this because this is brand new. So the membership council's been around, membership director council at the national level has been around for a few years. And I know my name got floated around a little bit, and that was something that they asked about a few months ago, and I jumped on. So basically, that is a group of individuals who are, we're doing a lot of peer-to-peer stuff where, Katie Driver at the ABC national level handling all the membership may say, "Hey, we got a new membership director out in that St. Louis area, and you know, can you chat with him or her to kind of, you know, help
Yeah,
out a
that's
little
great.
bit. So that's great. And then at the ABC One conference, which takes place, I believe it's in May in San Antonio this year. The membership director council will get there out there about 2 days earlier to do the special onboarding of all the new membership directors
Oh,
and new staff.
that's
Um,
great.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I like to share ideas. Um, but even more importantly, even someone who's been in this job one day, you know, they are geographically, they're in a different area, different ages, different backgrounds.
Yep.
I can learn something from someone who started this job yesterday, just like they can learn from me. And then I can learn from someone who's been here for 12 years, and they can see it's really, and we need each other. I mean, we need each other to do everything from to vent when there's a bad day, because you
Yep.
can't be doing that in front of the members, you know, they
Nope.
don't want to hear it. Um, it's great. It's great. So I'm looking forward to the experience and being on the calls for that too.
And I'm with you. You know, when I went to the one, I as educational pro people were there, and to meet people face to face is great. And then to leave there and make friends with people that are from around the country, and we formed kind of our own little masterminds, we call it, where we get together once a month through Zoom and just, like you said, vent,
Yeah.
share ideas.
Yeah.
You know, I'll share some stuff with them. They'll share some stuff with me. You know, one person's doing it for a year. I've been doing it for 4 years. Someone's doing it for 8 years. Like I said, just the camaraderie is great because everybody just
Yeah.
wants to see one another grow and get better. Um,
Absolutely.
Chris, if you had to give someone some advice about on the fence of being a member, what would you tell them? If you had to give them one little sentence or
A
one
new
little
a new member
advice.
coming in.
Yeah, new member come in.
I would say I would invite them to come out to an event, but I would encourage them to share, to talk to current members.
Mm,
All of my current members, including the membership director or the membership committee and our board of directors on both the education side and the net and the regular board, have been told directly by me, sometimes in front of these people, do not sell ABC membership. I tell them,
wow.
don't sell ABC membership. Share stories. Share stories. I am not a contractor. I am not an ABC member. Okay, I haven't done construction in probably a solid 18 years that I, you know, have been in that field or even remotely in that field as a flooring contractor. Share stories with one another, walk around the event, have conversation, and you're going to know by the time that event is over, you're going to be able to debrief in your own head when you're driving home, and you're going to have a pretty good idea the next day or the day after whether this is a space for you. Even if you don't, you're going to have your questions that you can come back to me and answer, and then we will figure out if this is something um, that is going to, you know, work out or not. And if people aren't, you really do need to get out to some events. And then if
Yeah,
someone tells me that that's not really their thing, I will say, listen, try to just come out and talk with some people. If you want
yep,
me to put you in conversations with some people without coming to the event, that's fine. Once you're a member, if the events aren't for you, but you love it, you like the idea of ABC, we can find ways that I can help you network. But you do need to talk to some current members because
yep,
they've been told not to sell you. My job is to grow. So that's my biggest thing is if you're on the fence, you got to come to an event, you know, have some food, have a drink, have a soda, whatever you want, but
yep.
just talk to some members because
That-
they're not
That's
here to
great
sell
advice.
you.
That's great. It's fantastic advice. All right, that's our friend Chris Abel, membership director for ABC Connecticut. We love our neighbors to the south. We love all the networks and chapters that are surrounding, and even New England is fantastic. Chris, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
I would say email. So I would say email is Abel, that's Abel, Abel at ctabc.org. And that could be found on LinkedIn as well, all the little social media channels. And then you know, you can easily go to ctabc.org, which is the website, and you could find my info too. I try to make myself pretty easy to get a hold of my
Right. Yeah.
sometimes to a fault.
Yeah, I'm with you. Same thing as same. I'm in the exact same boat as you. All right, Chris. Now is my favorite part of the podcast is the lightning round. I'm going to ask you 10 rapid fire questions. We insert the lightning sound effects and lightning bolts come
Nice.
across here in the video piece. The first question I
Excellent.
usually like to ask is, if you were a wrestler, what would your entrance theme song be?
I love that. I would say, and anyone from our chapter would know, "Hustlin'" by Rick Ross.
Ooh, well, that's a good one.
Big
No
time,
one's
big
ever
hip
said that.
hop guy.
Yeah, geez, I thought most people go with a Thunderstruck or a Hulk Hogan, but all right, you go with hip
Yeah,
hop. I like that.
it's either "Hustlin'" by Rick Ross or "What's My Name" by DMX.
Oh, I love. Oh,
Can't go
geez,
wrong
yeah,
with either of them.
two great entrance theme songs.
Yeah.
What is the worst fashion trend you ever used to rock? Like, what was your worst fashion trend?
Jean shorts,
Oh, gee,
a lot.
jean shorts.
Shorts,
Love it.
baggy too.
Yep.
And I never even thought about it. I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think it was a problem, but my wife will remind me. And
Yeah.
my brother made sure he reminded me during his best man speech at my wedding. So
Oh my
jorts.
God. If there was going to be a zombie apocalypse, who would you choose to fight on your team? Could be anybody, dead or
Could be
alive, fictional,
anybody.
non-fictional, doesn't matter.
Um, I would say, let's see, probably Dwayne the Rock Johnson. We'll stick with some of the wrestling stuff.
Good one.
I don't think you could go wrong with that.
Get three people. Who else would you pick?
Oh, three people.
Three people. Yep.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. My wife. She's a beast.
All right.
She knows how to handle stuff,
Okay.
and she's a bar lawyer, so she can negotiate her way out of the zombie
Wow.
apocalypse as well.
Okay.
And then we'll go with the woman from the who's the woman from the U.S. rugby team? She's on Dance with the Stars now.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but someone from the USA Women's Hockey Team,
USA, the rugby
rugby
team,
team.
rugby
Okay.
team. Everyone listening will know who she is. She's on Dance with the Stars now. But all you gotta do is video USA Women's Rugby Team, and I guarantee she'll pop up, and you'll see some stiff arms. Like she should be in the NFL.
The next question is if aliens came down from Mars and offered to take you with them back to Mars, would you go with them?
Right now, yeah, why not?
You would go. Wow.
Yeah,
Uh, are you a coffee or tea drinker?
coffee,
How do you
also
like your?
to a fault sometimes.
Yeah, me too. How do you like your coffee?
Probably 3 cream, 3 sugar.
All right. If you had to make one meal the rest of your life, what would you make?
One meal the rest of my life. Ooh. Oh man, rigatoni bolognese.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Favorite holiday tradition. What's your favorite holiday tradition?
Favorite holiday tradition, I would say probably Essex, Connecticut, the steam train in Essex, Connecticut.
Ooh, all right.
Or actually, let me backtrack on that. I know it's a lightning round, but the Christmas Prelude in Kennebunkport, Maine. We've done that 2 or 3 times. We're going in a few weeks. The Christmas Prelude in Kennebunkport, Maine is pretty
All right.
awesome. Or the
I'm gonna check.
Essex steam train.
I'm gonna check that out. If you go forward in time or backward in time, where would you go?
Backward.
Where would you go? What time would you go to?
Probably maybe like the 50s.
Oh, all right. Good,
40s
good.
or 50s. My parents are a little bit older, and different stories, different, just simpler times.
Yeah.
I lived through the 80s, even though I was really young, but I wouldn't mind seeing what the 50s were like.
Another good one was I was gonna ask is what did you have for breakfast today?
Breakfast today, a strawberry. This is pretty interesting. A strawberry strudel muffin.
Whoa.
Yeah, first
From
time
where?
at a place called Heirloom Marketplace over in Weathersfield, Connecticut. Really cool place in Old Weathersfield. They had a strawberry, I want to say strawberry streusel, strawberry something. It was good. It was really good. And my coffee, of course.
And then I always like to ask a question as well. But if there was going to be a food fight tonight at the Abel house, what would be your weapon of choice? And you cannot say mashed potatoes.
Well, I don't know when this is going to be released, but it is a Tuesday.
Yep.
I'm going to say tacos.
Oh, all right.
Loaded taco. I got a 9-year-old girl that she's been talking back a lot. She might have to catch a taco. She might have to. Not a crunchy shell though.
Oh, the soft shell.
Yeah, she's still my daughter. I mean, I love her,
Yeah.
but listen, soft shell, some sour cream. She's got to be taught a lesson.
So if you're eating tacos at the Abel house and someone says something to make Chris upset, be prepared because you're getting the taco
Yes,
off your
yes,
face.
you better say what you gotta say, then duck.
All right. One more question. Have you ever been told you look like somebody famous?
Yeah,
Who?
Sasha Baron
I
Cohen.
was gonna say that too.
Sasha Baron Cohen. When I was younger, every once in a while, a Vince Vaughn when I had like just sideburns and not the beard. When I was younger, but Sasha Baron Cohen. I had a
You-
guy at an event, non-ABC related. I went to go get a seltzer for my wife, and he just paused, and I went, and he totally got thrown off. Did you say lemon or lime? I just said lemon, so seltzer with lemon. He said, you just threw me way off. You look exactly like something. I'm like, I've heard it before.
You should just go right into it. You should just run with it. You should do
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
yeah. You should just do it. Throw people. People are like, oh my God, it's a Sacha Baron Cohen today. It's CT
yeah.
ABC down in Connecticut. All right, Chris, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it very much. Anybody has any questions, reach out directly to Chris. You can find him on LinkedIn. He's at ctabc.org. Any
Yeah.
questions about membership down there, reach out to Chris. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Appreciate you.
Excellent, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Hey, everyone. Mike from the future here. If you're listening to this right now, you are listening to the only podcast produced by an ABC chapter in the nation. The only chapter, ABC Massachusetts. If you're listening to this, please remember to like, tag, share, and follow. Please go.